Are you a student here? Are you a
Yep.
member of the faculty? Yeah.
Student, yeah.
What brings you to school?
Back to school.
Back to school.
Just time to cinch up some stuff. See what's happening here.
Okay. What were you doing? What were you doing before?
I was in the international business.
Okay. And so you're back into school doing film studies. That's awesome. I was thinking of doing film studies, but
So I did constructing domain forward, right?
right.
That's what you do when you're older, right? You just say, I'm doing this, that's,
Cool.
you know.
What made you do the switch?
Just time, you when you go through your life, there's things you want to do that you haven't done, and you've accomplished things in your life, so you just change course.
That's really awesome.
And you should do it more often, actually, because that's the lesson that you learn.
Yeah.
Sacrifice that you should trust your intuition and change course when necessary.
Where do you see yourself going now?
Probably, I'm going to be working with my son on some urban designs and stuff like that. So I'm doing that also. Probably producing creative performances. Nice.
Kind of something like this a little bit.
Kinda. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Actually, that's why I'm doing this. Is tying into design. We're looking, my son and myself are looking at how this campus could be different. How it could be a creative hub.
Okay.
So the only way you find out is to come.
What are some of your ideas for the campus?
Well, it's just restructuring it into more of a village. Like right now, it's just a lot of infrastructure.
Right.
It's something that's so now it's just a little bigger.
Right.
You see. So there's really no synergy here for Calgary or the region. People are all still doing their own thing.
You want it to be more of a community.
Well, it's back to what you told me you were studying is performance, right? Like,
Right.
so what kind of performances this place have the capacity to do? What might it be? What would be unique? How could it be better used, better positioned?
Okay.
We're all trying to do so. It's sort of that's why I'm in film and looking at it from that standpoint and saying, okay, so how do filmmakers go from a script, go from something and create a great film, a great story, great performances. It's the same kind of idea. It's a creative enterprise.
Okay.
And they do it in a short time. And so I've done a couple of small acting things too, so I did that too.
I think, you know what, you should really take this class up on this project for it's Performance Creation 360. And it looks at sort of, cultural and social forms, really, and how art and performance can, affect it for TV. And it's really kind of in the same direction you're going. I think you'd find it really fascinating.
Yeah, so imagine, you imagine like we're sitting across from this performance hall here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine this entire place being something in that realm. No one's thinking like that really, because the people up here that are teaching here or administrating here or whatever are really stuck in that paradigm of all the structure and how it was and how maybe it could change a little bit.
Right.
That's just the way it is. That's and they don't have permission to do anything.
No.
Like what I'm talking about. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to come in and understand, like as a consultant or as a person that has some ideas, you've got to see what's going on. And then my background is exactly that, is to put it together.
Right.
So to produce it. So I'll, in some sense I'll be a producer of ideas. That's really where I'm at.
That's fascinating. It's really exciting stuff.
And I mean I would encourage you at your age to think big. Like the habit most people don't have is to think big. They think small.
Yeah.
Micro this, micro that. Go here, go there. Complete this, do that. You know, and they never reflect on what actually maybe we all need or what you really like or have. And we don't let ourselves dream very often. And we don't have an environment to do that. Like the environment's very blunt, right? Oh, don't do that. You know,
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
You know,
This is the safe way.
Yeah.
This way you'll be content.
So in a way, I think this is one of those places that has the capacity to allow for performance.
Right. Well, it's it's
in a different way,
educational, right?
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, you go over to the sports over there, and you can see those kind of performances. I was over here the other night in a play. It's a performance, right? It was in a lecture. The guy's performing, in a way, right? Today, I had to write a paper, so I'm sitting there, writing this script, things like that. So it's just it's a mindset that we need, because what we need in Canada for sure is creative thinking.
Yeah.
And I've worked in business, and again, it's another blunt environment. It's like, no, don't do that. Do this.
We're very as a society, as a people, really, we're really set in what works, and I think we're kind of in trouble now because we've been doing it for so long. There's been no
Right.
evolution of those ideas, and we're destroying ourselves really
Well, I had
by not moving forward.
this class I was in this morning. Prof gave out his evaluation thing, the thing you do at the end of the term, and he tells us that the university is letting them go.
Okay.
So this is what he tells us, and then he says, but and then he's all emotional, right? Because he wants to, he likes being here. He's very, and everyone in the class really likes him. He's like a really excellent. He teaches Latin American history, and just the way he, it's like his performance. But he was so emotional about telling us. Because he has a relationship with all of us, and then we were all emotional, like, oh, what the heck? And then I just had some of my colleagues over here, and they're all like planning a revolution. Okay, we've got to do something,
do
right?
something, yeah.
And there's all these emails flying around. We got to keep them here, and stuff like that. So, but I come from the business world, and it's like, yeah,
That's kind of how it is, right?
it's part of the bluntness of things. If you don't fit, you see. And he's a very, I think, a deep thinking guy. He really cares about what he's doing.
Yeah.
So his performance art is really passionate and caring. Well, up here, right now, that's not what they want. Research for other matters or whatever. And so there's a conflict.
And then you get teachers like that too, who are just like all about the research, and then sitting
Right.
in one of their lectures is just like you want to just
Well, you won't
die.
go after a while. You don't
You know.
show up anymore, right? Because you just
there's no passion, there's no
and there's no challenge, there's no
no.
discussion. Nothing. So there lies the conflict, and that's the conflict that I have to overcome.
Right.
To do what I'm thinking. And how, but how you do that is you, me, a few other people, not many, some that have the idea, and start to just make it happen. You don't need permission. You see, this is the thing, and to perform, you have
Right.
you go from your heart.
Yeah.
You do what you know. You have best intentions. You do it, and you'll find that there's lots of empty space for that.
Right.
Like it's not closed off. It's in your mind, and you can't or you shouldn't or you don't know how or whatever.
Well, it seems like most people that are stuck in that uniform grid, they're afraid of questions, really. Like your whole life you're encouraged to ask questions, learn and grow, but then you get out there, and if you ask a question or critique something, it's like you're a leper, you're ostracized. Like they don't want anything to do with you. So it can be frustrating.
So you got to, my son's 21, and I'm mentoring him, and obviously in different ways. And so what I tell him is that he has to work on his self-concept. You have to, in this world, because of the way it has transcribed, it can be a tough place if you're not really, solid on your self-concept. So what is it you want to do? What do you stand for? Why are you here? What are you doing? What's your brand in the world? Like, what's your message? How do you make it happen? So it's gone beyond like when I was his age, where we were doing jobs and careers and employees and all that. No. This is all self-directed.
Right.
That's what I'm doing. Like, you can sense that, right?
Yeah, I really get.
Like, why am I here? You asked me that, and I'm telling you that. So you're probably surprised. You'd be thinking about it, like, geez, this guy's doing all this stuff. And
I
he's
love
just
it.
here,
I love it.
right? Because you wouldn't expect me to be here, right?
No, yeah.
Right? You expect me.
I
to
definitely,
be
you know what?
downtown or-
Stereotype. I
done
thought
that.
you were like a history prof or something.
See, and I've done all that. I've done all that, and it's not my shtick. It's not my thing. You know, I don't fit there because those people just want to go through the motion.
Yeah, and you know what? I have so much respect for you because there's so many people who just, you know, they've been doing what they're doing and, you know, they're content, but they're not. They're not reaching.
So I
for
call
what they
myself
want.
like a self-taught professor. You know, when I'm up here, that's because I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. But what I do know is very valuable. So I always, you know, when I'm interacting with my student colleagues or whatever, I always in a way mentor them, I encourage them, encouraging you.
Right. Well, no, you were talking about having your self-brand or whatever.
Yeah, concept.
Self-concept. And now, would you suggest the best way to do that is like, you know, taking some time for yourself and like doing that, or would you like go out there and start doing things
No,
first
always.
and learn along the way?
Well, performance. Go back to that word, right? So if you've ever played sports and that, you know, you've got to get prepared. You might have to do a little tuning up. You might have to do some self-reflection. You have to be self-critical. Like, so what am I strong at? What do I need to improve? You know, what is it that I really get excited about doing? So and you got to find your space, right? And when you do, then it's a natural performance. You don't need to rehearse.
Right.
Like like I'm talking to you, right?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you how it is, right?
Yeah.
And so that's when you know you're in that moment, right? You know you're in the right place, maybe, and place is very important, right? Like, I was born here, but you know, I love this place, but there's lots of frustrations here, right? Calgary, because people think small.
Yeah.
Yet we tell everybody we think big, but we don't.
It's fascinating that I just love that you're using the small versus big analogy, because I had this high school teacher who was a drama teacher, and he would always say that. He said you can live life in a small